What's good on this Wednesday evening? Welcome to Cops and Convicts. I'm Sean Shepard, your host. We are streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, and the Cops and Convicts YouTube channel. Subscribe, follow, and hit that thumbs up and notification bells on each one of those platforms. Before we get started tonight, I have a special announcement to make. We are celebrating our 20-year anniversary serving the community as a nonprofit. And I just wanted to let everybody know. I want you all to check out this little video that we have from me.
20 years. My gosh, where has the time gone? In 2004, I created a nonprofit organization for the sole purpose of bringing together people from all different walks of life on a regular basis, the way sports does, but in the name of serving the community. We were known as Embrace back then. Our first program was called Embrace the Streets, where we mobilized tens of thousands of college students to serve the homeless by providing them with food, clothing, and blankets. And when we were out in those streets, we met a lot of veterans. And that gave rise to our next program called Healing Our Heroes' Homes. We utilized those same college students to provide $1.5 million worth of labor and materials to remodel the homes of disabled veterans in San Diego. But it wasn't until 2016 when we went from being Embrace to becoming Game Changer. Game Changer is now the nation's premier law enforcement community relations program, where we continue to bring together community residents, but this time we join them with members of law enforcement so we can discuss problems and devise solutions together to mitigate the violence that takes place around this country. We couldn't have done any of this over the last 20 years without you and your generous contributions. So, to celebrate our 20-year anniversary, we have a goal to raise over $100,000. Any donation amount from you will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for the last 20 years. Let's do another 20 together.
So I hope you all like that little video that I made. If you're interested in supporting us, there's a GoFundMe link. You can take a screenshot and put that into your web browser. Any donation amount is good with us. We'd certainly appreciate it. We want to be able to do this for another 20 years. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in my guest tonight, Mr. Vance Harris. Vance, welcome to Cops and Convicts, bro.
Hey, thank you, Sean. Appreciate the opportunity, man.
It's great to have you. It's great to have you. So let me see if I can get. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Let's blow it up. So, Vance, the good thing about this conversation we're about to have is that I'm about to learn a whole lot about you. As many times as we've seen each other, all I know is that you do great work with ARC, the Anti-Recidivism Coalition. You're a solid dude, and you have participated in our Game Changer model a number of times, man. And I know you've been incarcerated. That's all I know about you. So let's look back to when, right when you were incarcerated, but let's go back like 5 years.
Okay.
What was Vance Harris doing for 5 years before you were incarcerated?
I was a freshman in high school. Just like a regular kid, chasing girls, trying to.
No, not you. You wasn't chasing no girls.
Chasing girls, man. I was late to class because I used to walk every pretty girl I saw.
Hey, bro, I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
So, you know what I'm saying? So definitely, looking at where I was 5 years ago to, when I went to prison, I was definitely just a regular kid, man, just trying to find his lane in school.
So what was high school like for you? Were you involved in any extracurricular activities? Were you in sports? What were you doing in high school?
So it's funny because my friends would be like, man, I was like too cool, man. Like, I just would just be chilling, trying, like I say, just talk to girls. I would consider myself like a ladies' man.
From freshman year to senior year.
From freshman to senior year, man. That's when I kind of hit a growth spurt because I was kind of short. going in middle school, I was kind of short, so I kind of hit my little growth where I kind of hit like 5'8", so I was a little way much taller than what I was in middle school. I think I was like 5'4", 5'5". So, just when I walked to my own understanding when I got to high school, man, I'm just trying to just fit in, talk to girls. I wanted to play basketball. That's one thing I do would say I look back on and regret it. Wish I would have played some sports. But I just was too cool, man. I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to sweat.
So at 5'5", you still had confidence
Of
to talk to
course.
the ladies. You ain't care about being 5'5".
I didn't care about being 5'5". I knew one day I'm gonna hit that growth spurt.
So when you weren't going to school, what were you doing outside of school?
So when I wasn't in school, man, my mom was very heavy in church. So, she'll pick us up from school and we go to Bible study on Wednesday, Bible study on Thursday. We doing something in the community of the church. So that was kind of like what my after school program was like. Once I hit high school though, things kind of changed. I started walking home, going home by myself. So I'll just be at the house just chilling. I really wasn't doing too much, man. Like literally, like I just was simple, playing video games, watching TV. I wasn't really outside like that unless I had to be.
So you mentioned your mom's. Was your pops in the picture?
My pops was not in the picture. My pops, he was one of those parents that was there when it was convenient. My pops was in love with my mom. So anything that he felt like he can get brownie points with my mom, he'll try to be there. But the moment, my mom cut him off and she really moved on, he kind of like left me alone. So
You
that
had
was,
brothers. You had brothers and sisters.
yes, I'm the middle child. My mom had 5 kids.
Five
So
kids.
five
Okay.
kids. Yeah. So it's funny because I tell people I'm like the little big brother. And the reason why I say that is because I say it's 5 kids. I'm 33. My oldest brother is 44. My oldest sister, she is 42. And then you have me at 33. So growing up in a household with my older brother and sister, I was the baby. And I have a younger sister that just turned 30. She just turned 30 this year, and I have a younger brother who just turned 28. So growing up in the house with them, I was the bigger brother because the older siblings were already out the house. So by me being the middle child, I'm like the little big brother.
So out of your siblings, your older siblings, was there one of them that you looked up to?
Yes, my older brother. My older brother and sister was the one I say I looked up to the most. They was the one that kind of really like prepared me for my identity, like to mold me into like being smooth, making sure because my sister was she was like a tomboy, right? My brother, he was a he was a street dude, but my brother he was a boxer. So like the main one thing, that my family, we're light skinned, so we bruise easily, we bring attention to ourselves, So that's one thing my brother made sure that I had growing up. Like he punched on me, make sure I was tough enough. So when I got out there in the streets, I wasn't on punk if somebody ever tried to step to me. And then like I say, my sister, she kind of just she was a tomboy, she was a hustler though. She kind of kept me laced. Some of the men that she dated, wasn't really the best influence, but just kind of being around them, like I say, just kind of being able to see how to maneuver as a young man.
So from what you described, your older sister was a hustler.
Yes.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm gonna ask you. And then you said
Yeah.
your older brother was a street dude. So explain to me what you mean by hustler and what your brother was doing out in the street.
So my brother was caught up in the gang life. He was gang banging. He picked up boxing and tried to stay out the streets, but it seemed like boxing only kind of enhanced his street work. You know what I'm saying? My sister, she was a hustler. She was a stripper. She was, just out there finessing dudes. Just using what she had, to get ahead. You know, um, Not necessarily just for herself, but for our family. Because we went through some time. My mom, she wasn't working, and and my sister stepped up tremendously.
So your older siblings were people that you looked up to, but the lifestyles that they were living, would you say that that kind of set the stage for what you were going to do when you got old enough to leave the house?
I would say no. I
Okay,
would say no. And the reason why I say that, man, because as we get up into my incarceration, as you like, I didn't grow up in the hood. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley in Pacoima. That's where I started off at. And then we, moved to Van Nuys and kind of like stayed around that little area for right there. It wasn't hood enough to where, it's like LA where we ducking gunshots, but you had your own adversities in there as well, being African American, being around, a lot of Hispanics and stuff like that. So, you kind of have your own issues that you deal with. Was it like say to where I'm hearing gunshots every day? No, but we was on EBT. My mom was on Section 8, so it was still a struggle, but just not in the city. It was in the valley.
okay. So you're in high school. You're in high school in the valley.
Yes, high school in the valley.
Okay, so when did you decide you wanted to have a little social life and go out and you said you was a ladies' man.
Right.
Being a ladies' man costs money.
Yes, it does.
What were you doing to finance your ladies' man lifestyle?
So let me tell you, man, my freshman year, I was like 0 and 100. I would pop, 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 but never did I get a chance to really, get a chance to take a girl out or really do anything of that nature. Far as the little bit of social status I got was, attending certain parties that was thrown. But far as like really me taking a girl out and stuff like that, I didn't do that till about like my 10th grade year.
Okay.
Year.
So how'd you finance that?
Oh, so every day my mom would give me $5 for lunch money. All right. So I got smart because, being a ladies man, you gotta keep up your appearance. So, I would save my money up because I want a haircut every week. This was my standard. 1 week a haircut, next week a lineup. You know what I'm saying? Keep the waves low. If I decide to grow my curls out, just whatever it was, gotta stay fresh. So with the $5 my mom would give me, sometimes I wouldn't eat. I had to save that $5, and then on the weekend, hey, I had $25. What we trying to do? So that was kind of pretty much how I strategized it, whether or not if I was going to do something or not.
All right, but at some point you outgrew that. $25 a week wasn't enough.
So at some point, mom, she helped me get my first job. My first job was working at Albertsons. I was a bagger.
Okay.
So yeah, I was my first job was at Albertsons in Northridge, and it was right there by the college. So by me bagging groceries and walking people, elderly people to their car, I would get tips, and kind of get a little change and stuff like that. So for what I was doing, and once I started getting my own money, it kind of felt good. I'm not gonna lie, I did get cut off. My mom, she no longer gave me them $5, or she looked for me to pretty much take care of myself because she told me, you have to learn you learn this now versus me trying to baby you till you're 18, and then when you get out there, you have no life skills. So I didn't always agree with my mom ways of dealing things when it came to finances, but looking back at it as an adult, I see that, what she did was something that instilled in me for the future.
So once she cut you off, what was your plan?
It just, when she cut me off, I had to start looking at what I was getting. And at the time, back then, I was getting like $8 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So when I was getting my checks, it would be like, and mind you, just high school, so I only work like 15 hours a week type stuff. So
Right.
checks is like 125. And the good thing about grocery store, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you get paid every Friday. So every Friday was payday.
That's nice.
Every Friday was payday, so it was nice. But just
is that still the case? Is that still the case?
That I'm not for sure. But I know that you get paid every Friday at the grocery store. And at least at the time when I was there, that was back in 2007.
Okay.
So like I said, going back to what you're saying is just like, okay, well, I wanted shoes, my mom, like when she taking us back to school for shopping, she don't take my little brother and sister. Vance, you got to check. You got money. So that kind of taught me to where I have to like be mindful. Okay, what you want to do? You trying to go out this week, or are you trying to save up for this fit? Like, so it gave me decisions at a young age to kind of see how I was going to handle my money, priorities over needs.
Did you ever have the goal to get on that cash register? Because I know that pays.
Honestly, no, I didn't, because I felt like me having my job as a bagger was the best thing going. Because if I see a cute girl, I can walk her out. You need help to the car.
I mean, you,
So, I,
you was one track minded. I can
yes,
see, I
yes,
can, I can see the elderly people liking you. You know what I'm saying? I can see
yes,
the regular people coming into the store, you having a great rapport with them
right,
based on the personality that I've experienced that you have.
right,
You great to be around. So I can see you being very popular in the supermarket.
right, exactly. So, that was really my thing. Like, honestly, I was okay with being where I was at. I didn't have that chase or that high to be like I wanted more. I was cool. Like, hey, I had a job. I get to interact with girls. Right, I'm right here by the college, so it was enough for me.
Did you party at all?
When I can. See, the thing about this generation, I be telling people, I said, man, a lot of the parties, especially living in the valley, they're like in a nice area. They're like
Right.
in Woodland Hills, they're off the strip of Ventura, they ran out some type of town hall. And where I was at, it was like, if I get there, I can get there on a bus, but how am I gonna get back? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of time that discouraged me from going to parties. There wasn't no Uber like how it is now. We can just catch an Uber, go to where we need to go to. My mom, she always was working. She had two jobs. So in the evening and in the afternoon, she was always gone. I mean, the morning and afternoon, she was always gone. So it's like me expecting a ride. I had to be like, okay, if I'm gonna go to this party, because I've done that before, where I go and I know I'm not getting back, but I'm saying I hope I see somebody there to give me a ride back. And there's been times where I got asked out. I didn't see nobody that I knew. I couldn't. My gang was, even though I'm talking about I'm a macaroni, but I wasn't macking yet like how it was to get a ride back to the house. So I had to start thinking about like, damn, if I go, how am I gonna get back? So because of that, and because of me not really having friends who had cars at the time, is when I stopped. But once I got to 12th grade, because I went to 12th grade, I went to Taft High School in Woodland Hills. So
Okay.
once I went to Taft in high school, that's now these kids right here, man. They celebrities kids, or they parents is some type of professional, like a lawyer, doctor. So they driving with BMWs, Sweet 16s and stuff. So when I got to that part of my life, yeah, I started going to parties a lot more because I made sure I had me a ride. Made sure I had me a homeboy who had a car, or a girl that I used to talk to that had a car. So it was kind of more as I got older, I started realizing, okay, it's kind of like setting myself up. If I'm gonna talk to somebody, what she has to be beneficial. She got to provide a need to my life that I'm not able to have.
So you had reached a point where you were only going to get involved with girls that it wasn't just you doing for them. It needed to be a two-way
Yes,
street.
two-way street, exactly.
Did you meet a lot of girls that provided that two-way street type of relationship?
Yes, yes. The older I got, it was like the older I got, man, the more I started figuring out. I started to figure out how this cat and mouse game goes.
So it sounds to me like you were leading a pretty normal
Normal
life
life.
as a high school kid.
Yep.
You got your grocery bagging job. You going to
Yep.
school. Your grades are decent.
Yeah, my grade's decent. Grade's decent for sure. Like 2.5, a little bit above average. You know.
Okay.
Yes.
So you sound like a normal high school kid.
High school kid, exactly.
Okay, so when did that change?
I've been trying to anticipate this moment right here, so I hit you with this curveball.
Well, I need to, I you
Yeah.
know I have to ask because up to this point, there's nothing abnormal about
Nothing.
your life outside of, and I don't even want to say your brother being in the gang and your sister stripping is abnormal. I'll say that those aren't the best role models for you to have as brothers and sisters,
Right.
but that's not extreme.
Yep.
So, where did your life change from being completely normal and nondescript to getting in trouble?
So before I get into the story, I want to just, share a life lesson I learned, man. Words are powerful. Words are powerful. And, my mom used to always say this, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Be careful with what you say. So I started dating this girl, right? One of her exes was from LA, street dude. And she used to always talk about him. Like, oh, he was just so crazy, and he always be put on his hood this, his hood that, blah 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 blah. So, that right there used to kind of like irk me because he's like, what you trying to say? Like, the dude buried me or something, because he was, set banging and had you feeling like he was a gangster. So I kind of used to want to now prove to her, like, okay, well, I'm it's something there's something bad about me, somewhere up in here. And it's funny because I will start lying to her.
About what?
So for example, she had her own place. She was
Okay.
older than me. So I finally, so at this point, I'm in high school. I finally bagged me a college girl. All right. She's older than me. So she has her own little spot. And so I will lie and say that um I'm out trafficking. Like, hey, I'm finna go cross state real quick to go drop something off. I'll be right back. Really, I'm at my mama house, sleep, chilling. But I wanted her to make it seem like, I was out here doing something. And I remember one day we got into it. We getting into it. And mind you, I kept this up for about like a couple of months. One day we get into it over something small. And at the time where I was in my life at 18, I didn't like to apologize. I didn't feel like I had to apologize, especially to a woman. Someone who I was dating or whatever. I didn't feel like I had to apologize to. I didn't have to basically, give you any type of um what the word I'm looking for, like,
Respect.
yeah, respect, but also like, like I don't have to tell you what I got going on in my life, you know.
Where'd you get that from, though? Because everything that you said to me leading up to this point, that would never have made me thought that you had a lack of respect or you don't need to apologize. And you said especially because she's a woman. Did did you have a mentality toward women like that? You called it a game. Was it just a game to you?
Nah, so going back to where I was my mom, she dated the wrong kind of man.
Okay.
My mom, she passed away as of right now. She passed away in 2015 from breast cancer. But one thing that my mom was always chasing was love. And all the men that she dated, including my father, was never the one who gave her that type of love, right? So, she dated physical abuse people like my dad, verbal abuse, people who just use her, neglect her, you know what I'm saying? And my mom was like, she wore her heart on her sleeve. So me seeing kind of like the men that she was bringing to the house and how, they were treating her, that's my mom. But at the same time, it was like, I'm still trying to figure this out, so I'm taking a little bit of what I'm seeing in reality, taking a little bit of what kind of game she telling me, because she's always telling me treat a woman right. She always wanted me to treat, she always made sure that her sons would, she wanted them to be treated how if she was to find that person, you know my brother giving me his little 2 cents, my sister giving me her little 2 cents. So it's kind of just me kind of figuring out for myself of, who I'm trying to be.
You didn't see anybody that were older than you leading healthy lifestyles.
Exactly. No, I did not.
Right. So your sister, your brother, your mom, right? So now you're in a relationship with this girl with all that background, and you're not any of that.
Nope.
So you told this girl what you thought she wanted to hear. And when you said your mother told you the power of life and death is in the tongue, right?
Right.
People talk about what and who is important to them. Right? I'm not going to talk to you about something that I don't care about, because if I don't care about it, it won't be in my mind to talk about.
Exactly.
So not only was this girl that you were with talking about her ex that was banging, she was talking about her ex.
Yep.
Period. To you. And that made you feel like you wanted to be the type of person that she was attracted to, even though she was already with you. You thought you needed to be harder or a little bit more dark.
Right.
But that's not why she did. But that's not why she picked you.
Right. Right. I think what it was is just because, I've always grew up having the second hand to me, being a pretty boy. So, when you be associated with being a pretty boy, you're not tough. There's nothing tough about being pretty. You know what I'm saying? Just like, oh, you're cute. But when you go and you think of someone who's a gang member, it's like, oh, he's a thug. He is someone who, oh, girl, I gotta watch out for him. He crazy. So when you take in that and you trying to mix it with that, it's like, well, I'm not really scared. Like, I'm with you because of your looks. I'm not, like, something about the ex was more of like, I was sprung off the crazy shit he would do. You know what I'm saying? So it was like two different type of games, two different type of the way that we carried ourselves with her ex and with me. So with me constantly hearing that, it was kind of made me look at myself like, wait, you don't think that I can protect you? You don't think that, I'm with it? If there ever was to, wasn't trying to sit up here and say I'll fight for you. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going that far, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not ducking no smoke, but I have to broadcast it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like that was something that was a challenge for me. So like I said, I started lying, just started saying little dumb stuff. But one lie, I felt like I said too far. I lied to her and told her that I was finna go to jail. I said, hey, the cops are behind me. Me and my homie, we on a high speed chase right now. I'm about to go to jail. And it was just something to see kind of like what was her mindset. Like, was she gonna try to stay down? Like, what she was gonna, I really did like her. I just didn't like the fact that she was hung up on her ex. You know what I'm saying? So
where were you really when you were telling her?
My mama's house.
You were at your mom's house, but you told her you was.
Exactly.
Let me say this to you. Let me say it to you before you finish the story. If you had more self-confidence, you wouldn't have felt the need to be proving nothing to her, because when I listened to you talk about you were a pretty boy.
Right.
Right. I'm not going to say that I was a pretty boy, but I played football.
Okay.
And there was an edge to me because I played football. So I might have had that going for me as opposed to you. But I wasn't going to fight anybody unless I had to fight somebody. Otherwise, man, I was like you. I don't care why you picked me. I don't care about who you picked before. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We here right now. Whatever he was, and we're gonna get this in. And if it's gonna last, it's gonna last. If it's not gonna last, what is your friend's name? What's your girlfriend's name? What's your sister's name? That was my attitude. And listening to you talk, I wish you felt that way about yourself at the time, because it's like, I don't care about this fool. I don't care about it. But you liked her and you were young.
Right, exactly. And just looking back at it, man, I wish I didn't have no male role models. My mom, she was estranged from her family, so that's why we had ended up in the valley. A lot of my family's in LA, but we moved out to the valley at a very young age. I think I was in like elementary when we first moved out there, and we've been out there ever since. But like a lot of my family was out there, including my dad. I remember even before he stopped coming around, I would go out there every other weekend and stuff like that. So with us being secluded, it was like, who do I have? All I have is my brother. That's my only male role model in my life, and I know the lifestyle that he's living. You know, and just I was kind of look at it like, so I'm taking everything from like what I see like on TV. You know, I'm looking at this movie and I'm like, damn, I really like how he is as a father. Man, I want to be like that when I'm a dad, or a husband. Just looking at certain things and just trying to take in and create my own scrapbook for how I want to be a man. So, but you hit the nut right on the hammer. I didn't have that. I was figuring it out.
So you told her that you were about to go to jail. The cops are chasing you. All
Yep.
right. So continue.
So, at this time, I started hanging out. I met one of the kids that when I was in high school. He was Armenian, and his family had a chop shop, and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, man, if you see we got certain cars, man, that we trying to look for it, man, we'll cash you out for it. Now, mind you, when I was in school, you always had to fly his stuff, True Religion jeans, always, back then, Ed Hardy, Hollister and stuff like that when it was popping. So when I would see him again, I'd be like, damn, like, bro, you own. And he basically told me, like, yeah, bro, that's what I'm on, still in cars. So I remember one night, man, I'm just bored. Like I said, idle mind is dangerous. I'm bored. And at the time we had the sidekicks back then.
Right. Right.
And we was talking to each other on the sidekick, and he said he was gonna pick me up. He was in the area. He was in Reseda because at the time I was like living in Reseda. So he like, I'm about to come pick you up. Come pick me up, and we talking and shit, smoking, and then he's like, man, I'm finna hit this lick. You trying to roll with me? I'm like, it's simple, it's easy. I'm like, yeah. So he showed me, went broke the glass, hot wire the shit, and he up out of there, quick and easy. Took the car to the location he needed to take it to, and got cashed out. So me seeing that put an idea in my head, like, okay,
That's the first time you did anything like that.
first time.
Okay.
So
Wait. Hang on.
yeah, go ahead.
Go back to when you told your girl that you were being chased by the cops and that you were going to jail, because it makes it sound like you said that first before this.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that end? And you need to put a bow on that for me. You told her a lie.
So I told her a lie.
Right.
To stay at my mama's house. After I told her the lie, I ended up being at my mama's house, and later on that day, I ended up kicking it with my friend that I'm telling you about with the car. He picked me up. So then, as he drops me off, as we driving down the block, I'm peeping. He taking me back to my house. As I'm driving down the block, I see a nice Mercedes, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm finna take this Mercedes." I just saw how it just went down. So he dropped me off at the house. I walked back up the couple of blocks up where I saw the Mercedes at, and I'm nervous as shit. I'm like, bro, I'm nervous as shit. I'm trying to, because he had a device to break the glass, and he was telling me like how hot wire. So he go ahead and I go ahead and I find a rock, throw that bitch out the window. It breaks, and I get inside. Alarm going off and everything. So I'm over here struggling forever in a day to finally trying to do this hot wire. I just give up and run away. Give up and run away. So as I'm giving up running away, I'm like, man, fuck that. Like, man, do not, like, we not finna go home empty handed. So now I'm just walking up and down my main street by my house, and there's a hospital that's right there, Northridge Hospital, not too far from my house. So I'm going in the parking lot, and I'm just looking at cars. I see another Mercedes. I try it again. This time I succeed, and I get on. As I'm leaving, I'm not realizing that somebody's seen the whole thing in their car and they're following me. They're following me, and as they're following me, I leave. Like I end up getting away. But this is how young and dumb minded I was. So I get the car, I call my friend, and I tell him about the Mercedes. So he like, all right, take it. Don't take it to where I just took it to. Like, take it somewhere else, somewhere closer. And this was a little further. This was a little further. This is like kind of like by Hollywood instead of it being like over by Glendale. So as I'm driving, I get pulled over, and I don't know why I thought that just me trying to play it cool was going to get me up out of it, not knowing that, hey, bro, like I'm thinking like I know nobody reported the car stolen that fast. I probably was just speeding a little bit. I can probably talk myself up out of it. And no, when they pulled me over, I get guns drawn, and they arrest me, take me to jail, and I'm going to North Hollywood Station, and then from there down to the pen. I mean, not to the pen, but to the county jail.
So the first time you ever tried to steal a car, it didn't go well, and later on that same night, you tried to steal another car, but this time you stole it,
Mm-hmm.
and you got caught.
Yes.
So the first time you ever stole, the first day you ever tried to steal a car, you got caught.
Yes.
All right. So you get arrested. I still want to know what the girl said when you told her the cops was chasing you, you was going to jail, because that's a different day.
No, yeah. No, it's not a different day. It's the same day, but earlier in the day.
But you weren't being chased by the
Yeah,
cops at the
I
time you
wasn't.
told her that.
At the time I just said that. At the time
So
I just said that.
now I understand why you say the power of the tongue. You spoke your shit into
Yes.
existence.
Yes.
That's what you did
Yes.
on the same day.
On the same day.
That's wild.
Yep.
That is wild to me.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, man.
Yep.
So you get arrested.
I get arrested. I go down to the men's central jail. They cite me out. I go to court. They cite me out. Right, GTA. Now I'm on. I got a pending case.
What is GTA?
Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, so you get arrested. They take you to the North Hollywood station. They book you for Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
Okay, when do you get out? When do you get out of jail?
I don't get out of jail till like a day later because I have to wait for court.
Okay.
Once I saw the judge, they cited me out. Basically, come back to my next court day because basically I ain't got into no trouble. So it was just like, okay, cite me out. So now I got an open case. I'm supposed to come out to court in like a month, like 6 weeks from now. So now I'm out. I got I'm coming back around my girl at the time and just like, yeah, just come pick me up from county jail. You know what I'm saying? Playing the whole part like, I'm really Billy Badass. You know what I'm saying? And it worked. It was like, oh my gosh, you was in there. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, it was cool, whatever. And it's funny because once again, the whole moral of this story is the life and death power of the tongue. When I was in there, I was fronting like, yeah, it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is nothing in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, girl. She constantly just checking, like, you all right? You okay? You fine? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, come on, it's nothing. So I had this open case. Now, mind you, me and her is off and on. We got like a toxic relationship, bro. Toxic relationship. So me and her going off and on. So I'm going back and forth to my mama house. And my mom told me, she said, You have to learn how to fight your battles with your girl. You know, you can't always keep running home. She was like, you know, if you're gonna be over, because I'll be over there. Like, I wouldn't come home at all when we good. But the moment she pisses me off or we have a disagreement, I'm out of there. I'm gone. And my mom, she was like, don't do that. She was like, I really like her. You need to learn how to work out with your problems with in your relationship. She said, the next time you try to come over here, I'm not gonna let you in. I'm like, what? I'm like, whatever. Sure enough, about a week later, me and her get into it. And we get into it pretty bad. And I walk over to my mama's house. And my mom didn't let me in. And she said, no, I'm not gonna let you in. I'm like, what? She's like, no, I'm not letting you in. I didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't, as much as me saying, you know, I was lady man and cool, popular like that. I didn't have nowhere to go because I cut out my.
No friends.
At the time, my close friend, I didn't really kick it too many dudes. You know what I'm saying? I had like one dude I was with, still my best friend to this day. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't in town at the time. Okay. He wasn't in town at the time, so I couldn't go to his house. I'm always at his house though, but I couldn't go for he wasn't there. And the women that I was talking to on the side, I kind of, you know, basically cut off because I'm in a relationship. You know how it goes. When you post your girl and now you let the whole world know, you know, the little stragglers fall off that you had on the side. So, you know, with me, I didn't have nowhere to go, but I wasn't going to let her know that or my mom know that because of my pride. I was the type to where I felt like I'm going to keep it cool, keep it together, even though I may not know what my next move might be, you know. I used to listen to a lot of rap, a big fan of T.I. growing up. And a lot of the lyrics and stuff that I'll be listening to, man, I feel like I'll take some of it serious, like never let them see you sweat. And I took that to the heart, you know. I always try to keep it cool, calm demeanor, but on the inside I was sweating, you know. And all I had to do was to go apologize to my girl, and I could have came back into the house, but I refused to apologize. I'm not finna apologize. We went this far, you can't go back. And so what I did was I ended up talking to one of my friends. It's a female friend that was that we used to kick it to over the house, like, you know, back when we was in high school. And I show up at her house. I knock on her door, on her window. When I knock on her window, I guess because of how late it was, she didn't know it was me. So she had told her grandma, like, someone's at my window. And when her grandma came out, she's like, oh, this is your friend. So I come out, I'm like, damn, I came here to try to spend the night. She said, I'm sorry. If I knew it was you, I would have snuck you in. But now my grandma's up, so I can't let you in. Now, mind you, this going on like 12, 1 o'clock now. And I'm just roaming the streets. My mom not letting me in. I refuse to go back to my girl and apologize. So what I do was, you know what? I'm finna steal me a car. I'm finna just steal me a car and sleep in the car. And then, you know, I was going to abandon it the next day. So I'm walking through the parking lot of a grocery store. I see somebody, and I run up to them, push them down, snatch their keys, and I leave. And that's all I did. No weapon, no nothing. Just pushed, snatched, got in the car. I did not know that me doing that was going to make me spend 14 of my years in prison. Just by doing that little dumb mistake right there. And
carjacking.
Exactly. It's no longer GTA. This is carjacking.
You know what, Vance? When you were talking and you were saying you had no place to go, I'm thinking to myself, this fool's gonna go get in a car to sleep somewhere.
Yep.
But I didn't know that you was gonna get in a car and take it. I knew in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's gonna tell me he broke into another car to lay down. Not that.
Yeah.
All right, so you push this woman down, you take her keys.
Man, I pushed the man down, took the car, and I left. And it's funny, like I said, like I put the air quotes before I said, you know, I took this car. and was going to give it back, like abandoned it the next day. I had this car for 2 days. I was as soon as I got the car, I pulled up to my girlfriend's house, got my clothes from her house, went to my mama's house, got my clothes from my mama's house, and I was gonna go live with my grandmother in LA. That's what I was gonna go do. Like, fuck both of y'all. Like, whatever. Like, I'm cool. They looking like, who car is this? Don't worry about it. Just give me myself. I'm finna bounce. Sean, this shit is crazy. Reliving this. So before I hit the freeway to go to my grandma's house
On day 2.
Day two. I did it last night. So it's technically like a couple hours later, because I did like around 1 o'clock. Now it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, my windshield is dirty. Let me go to the car wash and give it a little rinse real quick. So I took it to the drive-thru. And this is when I found out, man, that car washes has a partnership with the police department. When you go to the car washes, they run your license plate. And that's how they find out if your car is stolen or if you want it or whatever. So I go to this car wash, they run it through, pay and everything. By the time they hunk the horn for me to get in the vehicle, and I get inside, 2 police cars pull up behind me, guns drawn and everything. And that was where my life kind of, went the direction that it went to for that time.
This car wash, I'm just trying to piece together how dialed in the car wash is to LAPD or LA County Sheriff. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand how it would happen that quickly. I believe you. I absolutely believe you, because that's really the only way you could have gotten caught that quickly.
Yeah.
So you're out. They released you from Grand Theft Auto, and now they catch you for carjacking. How much time passed between the time that you were released for Grand Theft Auto until the time you got caught for carjacking?
Like 17, 18 days.
Okay. So they arrest you.
Yep.
And this time they're not letting you out.
Nope. Not letting me out.
So what did they set your bail at?
So they set my bail at $500,000. $500,000. So where things is going to get tricky is because I'm looking like, bro, why the hell am I in here for this time? And the cops is talking shit to me. Like you're foul. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope you bro, they talking shit to me. So when I get booked and I'm looking at my charges, I have attempted murder on my charge. 2nd degree attempted murder. 2nd degree carjacking. 2nd degree robbery. Those are my charges. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about 2nd degree? Where's his attempted murder coming from? I didn't fucking kill nobody. I didn't try to kill nobody. But it's funny how, you have I'm going to say the abuser, which was me in the situation. You have the abuser story, and then you have the victim story, right? So the victim story was when I pushed him. You know how you have the curve where the tire be for the car?
Yeah.
On the car stopper, the little curve when in parking lots?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. When I pushed him, he hit his head. And he went into like a seizure, I guess. And I basically that's the attempted murder. His way of how he described what happened was that I pushed him and I ran, and when I pushed him, my momentum of my body forced his head back, basically I bashed his head back on the concrete.
He made it sound like you fell down with him.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's not what happened.
That's not what happened. No. So when I was falling down, when I pushed him, my momentum was leaning me forward, but his body was there to keep me stuck up. And I believe that's when he tried to interpret that I'm trying to bash his head back.
And this took place in the valley.
Yes, it's a place in the valley.
What did this dude look like?
White man.
Attempted murder.
Yep. White man. And that's what they charged me with. And it's funny because I'm like, what the hell? Never. Not whatsoever. And it's funny because I spent a year and 5 months in jail fighting this case.
Because you couldn't bail out.
That I couldn't bail out, and 2, because I couldn't get a plea deal because I had this attempted murder on my charge. Like, even when I went to pretrial, it did not fall off. Everything sticked. So I had to go to trial. I go to trial, and I finally get hit with my first deal. They're like, we want to offer you 14 with half. I'm like, 14 with half? I'm like, that's 7 years. Oh, no, I'm cool. Heck no. I ain't trying to do no more than like 2. I ain't trying to do no 7. But even then, I wish somebody would have explained to me how this time works. What halftime is, with you being already in the inside, and how that they calculate your times, double up because you're in the county, stuff like that.
But you had a public defender, didn't you?
I had a public defender. No, I had a paid lawyer.
And that lawyer didn't explain that to you?
No, so at the time I had a paid lawyer, it was in the beginning. This was before prelim and stuff like that. Once he saw that his motion that he filed for me wasn't working to dismiss or to drop the charges, he basically kind of backed out, like, bro, I think this case is a little too much over my head. And he wasn't like no high paid lawyer. He was somebody that was just fresh out of law school. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he used to do insurance. He was like insurance lawyer before he switched over to criminal. You know what I'm saying? So once I think he saw things was kind of in too deep where he was really fighting, I think he kind of was like, nah, I'm cool.
All right. So when he bounced, then you got a public defender?
Yeah, I got a public defender.
And the public defender didn't bother to explain to you all the parameters of the time?
No, because their excuse was they just got the case. They have to look over it. And it's funny because the first time I saw my new lawyer, she was saying how she was going to come visit me. The false promises, I'm going to come visit you. We're going to go over your case. And for like the next 3 court dates, she had fill-ins. Oh, she's in another trial right now. She couldn't come, so I'm just filling in. I don't know anything about, she didn't leave me no notes, so I really don't know. I don't have your case file. So that was the runaround I was getting. Finally, when we was heading, to where the judge was kind of like, all right, what are we doing with this, and we started going to trial, that's when I started to really understand like how serious this shit was, because I kept thinking like, oh, this is nothing. This is not going to stick. There's no evidence. It's nothing. But this shit stuck all the way until I went to trial, because I had to have a jury find me not guilty for me to drop that attempted murder off of my record. But in the event of me dropping that attempted murder, I already knew I was guilty of the carjacking. You know what I'm saying? So I got found guilty on the carjacking and robbery, but not guilty on second-degree murder. So it's funny how the criminal system works, because I took it to trial, the judge has the right to give me the upper term. So
the judge has the right to give you what?
The upper term.
Upper term.
The max.
The max. Okay.
Because I went to trial. So my charges for the robbery was 3, 5, and 9. Yeah. The carjacking was 3, 5, and 9.
What'd she give?
He gave me 9.
Okay, so the judge gave you 9 for the carjacking.
And 1, 3, and 5 was for the second-degree robbery. He gave me 5.
So he gave me that's 14.
That's 14.
And what about the attempted murder?
I beat that. I beat that with trial. I mean, with the jury trial. They found me not guilty for that one. So that's why I was saying to where like it was slippery slope because you guys wasn't giving me you guys wasn't trying to drop this case on me for the second degree robbery. So I had to go to trial to get the second degree robbery off of my back.
You mean second degree murder?
Second degree murder. I'm sorry, yes, second degree murder. So because of me having to go to trial to get the second degree murder off my back, now I fucked myself because now I'm eligible for this upper turn, like the high turn, because I went to trial. You feel me? And the judge gave it to me. He said, because this is during the time, like I said, this is 2009. This is during the time when people was coming from LA to the Valley and it was hitting homes, kind of like how like the spike recently been in the San Fernando Valley. So they was coming out here hitting homes. So me being a black kid, me being in the white area, Northridge, I'm one of the street punks that's criminalizing his city. He made an example out of me. And gave me 14 years in prison.
And that you had to do all 14.
I had to do all 14.
Not even 85%.
So let me explain to you about that one. We'll get into that one of why I have to do a majority of my time. So I did get sentenced to 85%. When I went into prison, like I said, we're going back to the moral of this whole story. Life and death was in the power of the tongue. So when I hit the prison, I'm treating prison, well, maybe before prison, because I was in the county jail for 16 months fighting my case. So getting my taste of jail, I'm already learning how shit go. Me walking in there, I don't look like everybody else. I don't got tattoos on my face. I don't look scary. I don't look mean. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the Valley. So I had a target on my back. You know what I'm saying? I look like a little pretty boy. So I had a lot of people try to fuck with me. Straight up. So instantly, I had to fight. Constantly fighting. You know what I'm saying? So with me going to prison and me going through my experience in the county jail, me fighting and stuff like that, not just on some gangster, just fighting just because we bored. One thing about people in prison, man, they be bored, man. They worse than Whitney Williams, man, with gossip. You know, they try to do anything just to entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So when me going in there having to fight, and I developed that edge that I was faking to my girl on the streets about. You know what I'm saying? And even when I look back now at prison, you know, it's kind of like I hate that I had to go there, but at the same time, I learned a lot. I learned a lot that I felt like, you know, I needed to learn in a sense, and some things I didn't need to learn, you know, because when you're in there, you surviving, man. You in there just to survive, you know. So now I'm in prison. I'm using my looks to my advantage, talking to multiple women, you know.
How?
Oh, so one thing about me, man, I always had a cell phone, man. I always had a cell phone in prison. So, you know, my first phone I ever had, man, my mom, she saved her income tax money up for me, gave me the money. And from there, man, I used that phone to talk to women on dating sites. And, you know, and just develop relationship after relationship.
How'd you get the phone in the prison?
All the COs, man. They bring them to you, the staff in there bring them to you.
So, you know, Anthony told me that last night.
Yeah.
So he had told me that one of the phones, he had to pay $13,000 for a phone.
Yes. So the most I ever paid was 10.
Stop.
I swear to God.
I need our viewers to understand what you're saying. I want to check in with our viewers. Cops and Convicts. My guest tonight is Vance Harris. He caught a 14-year case for you went to prison for carjacking, second degree
Yes,
robbery.
carjacking, second degree robbery.
Second degree carjacking, second degree robbery.
Yes.
And he just got done saying that the most money he had to pay to have a phone in prison was $10,000.
$10,000.
So I need you to explain how this transaction works where you pay $10,000 to one correction officer.
So here's how it works. If you're a correction officer, you only fucking with one person. So it's like if I'm the correction officer, I'm gonna fuck with you, Sean. So I'm not gonna have nobody come hit me up. You keep our business to ourselves, you know, and me and you got a deal going on. Wherever we work out, as far as money wise, hey, I'll give you 10 phones for 10,000, whatever, and then you know you do what you do to make your bread back. The thing that I just say, as you know, if I was a correctional officer, like, hey, keep our business between us. One thing in prison, we watch everything. We watch everything. So even if you keep it closed lip, I'm gonna pay attention to your behavior. Hey, why is Sean getting popped out right now? They just call him down to the office. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you, but it's like everybody peeping. You know, everybody watching. And it's like you might think you slick, but you got 1,000 eyes on you because every time that door crack open, everybody goes to the door to see, hey, what's going on? What's happening?
Right.
You know,
You don't have anything else to do.
you got nothing else to do.
Right.
Nothing else to do. So, you know, this the dude at the time who had the phones that the CO was fucking with, that was his price. You know, and at this time where I paid 10,000, it was during COVID. So it was nothing going on. You know
What
what I'm saying?
facility was this at?
I was at Folsom. North.
Were,
Yeah, I was at Folsom. I was at New Folsom.
So you were at Folsom.
Yes.
You paid a CO $10,000 for
No,
a
so it's not the CO. But like I say, it's like you're the person, you're the inmate. So like you and the CO have the relationship that no one else supposed to know about. But like I say, all eyes, we put two and two together. But it's just I'm giving the 10,000 to you. Like, Sean, what's your cash app? I got the 10.
To another inmate.
Another inmate, yes.
Okay, so but you have to have a phone to send money via Cash App to somebody.
So, Sean, you the plug. Hey, Sean, I want to get a phone. You be like, here you go. I'm about to. Here, you got 10 minutes. I'm gonna see you my information. Have it MoneyGram, Cash App, or Zelle, however you want to split it up. But I need 10. You gonna supply me with the phone, Sean? You the phone man. How you don't have a phone to give me? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Sean, you know I'm gonna need to get. All right, yeah, no problem. Here you go. Here's my code and everything. You got 10. I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'm gonna hop in the shower real quick.
Where did you have $10,000 saved up?
So during this time where I had my money, where I can spend $10,000, I was doing some fraud. Got a couple my hands on a couple of stimulus checks. You know what I'm saying? And I just kind of like at this point I was like it was year 10 in for me. No, like 11. Yeah, year 11 in for me. And I kind of like, you know, navigated, you know, prison very well to where, you know, I was able to save my money and kind of be more responsible. Also, too, not to just throw, you know, fraud shit that got me my bread, but I also invested my money. So I was very heavily into like crypto and stuff like that. And so every time I have my phone, I look at it like this. As I got older, it wasn't about having the phone talk to girls, because every year the price is going up, right? It started off with $500. My first phone, $500, to 1,000, to 12, to 3, to 45, to 5. And 5 was like the average, 5,000. I was like kind of like the little average. But then, like I say, when COVID hit, it jumped to 10. So now at this point, it's like, okay, you're going to spend $10,000 on the phone. What $10,000 plans or moves are you making to make sure you get that money back? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it worth it? Like what you got going on? Because to me, at this point, to have a girlfriend and want to call and talk to her every day, that's not worth spending $10,000 for me. I'm sorry. You're right. I can call you on that $15 million payphone. I'll keep $10,000 in my pocket. I can eat good every month for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. So to me, it was just more about making sure that, keeping the finances I had going on as I was preparing myself for my release upright.
So you were committing fraud, but in prison and making money that way.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And you were doing it because you were able to do it because you had a cell phone.
Because I had a cell phone, yes. Before me leading up to the fraud, I was selling drugs
In prison.
in prison.
So it was the same type of hustle. If you wanted to get drugs, you would go to a fellow inmate.
No,
How would you get the drugs in?
I'm bringing myself because one thing that when you make it move, Sean, the less people you tell, the better.
Right.
The less people tell you better. So I'm not coming to you to be like, hey, I want to buy drugs, because me coming to you, Sean, you're gonna give me a double up.
Right.
You don't give me something to where, you the one you got your sack because you just went out there and grabbed it, and now you're gonna put it together, and now you're gonna put it out there and what do you call it, the prison drugs. You're not gonna make no money off prison drugs. You don't make your money when you're going out there getting your whole bundle, and then you coming back and you dumping it like, hey, I got this whole ounce of weed. Give me 3,000. I paid 200 for that on the streets, but give me 3.
But how did you get the drugs in the prison?
Oh, so at the time, the girl I had, she was with it. She was with the shit. So the woman I had in my life, man, she'll bring it up for me.
How did she get it from her to you?
So in the visiting room. So we in the visiting room. She'll pass me. We'll have a set time set up to where we'll normally do the diversion, and the majority of the time that I'll pick was when they'll come and refill the vending machines, because when you come in and refilling the vending machines, everybody's getting up to go in line to get the new food that the vendor's putting in the machine, and that would be the time that I would go ahead and make my move and grab it from her.
And no cameras.
Oh, it's cameras. But you got to finesse it. Sometimes you got to be overhand over this and just one hand disappear. You got to know where all your cameras are and try to find that blind spot, create that blind spot.
And you were able to do that successfully.
Yes.
How many times would you guess?
In the beginning, I would do it a lot. In the beginning of my time, I did it a lot. Like every time I felt like I was broke, or every time I felt like I needed to make a move. When I started on the, I'll say altogether over my span, probably like 10 times. I probably did like once or twice a year.
Did you ever get caught?
No. Never got caught.
That should have been your hustle when you was out. Not stealing cars, because you weren't very good at that.
Right. Was not good at that at all.
It wasn't stealing cars was not your calling, bro. You could have had a lucrative career.
It wasn't. But also even that too, like selling drugs wasn't that either. Because the one thing, like I told you, man, was that you have people, you're in prison, man, you got people on your downfall. And it's like, it's funny because I was on a main line the whole time, level 4 the whole time, GP. And it's funny because you right there with all the killers, everybody that supposed to be somebody on the streets, they up in here, but you still got dudes in there that's supposed to have this tough image, still be doing whole shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like what?
Like tell on you, but not tell on you to where it's like in your face. You know what I'm saying? It would be like somebody would write something down on the paper, drop it like in like the medical slip, and the next thing you know, it's like, inmate Harris is over selling drugs. And then, you like, damn, like who the fuck on me? Like it's been a couple of times to where like I had my cell hit, I had a police, just kind of like sniffing around my area, because my whole thing, I'm trying to be low key. When you doing shit like that, you want to be low key, you want to be out the way, because once you hot, you hot. Once you hot, man. And that's when we're gonna have that 3:00 in the morning rage trying to catch you slipping, trying to run up on you. That's nah, I'm cool.
That never happened to you?
Yeah, it did. There's been time I had to flush my phone. That's why when you be in prison, man, you gotta go ahead and put the locks on the door, because they can open that lock at any time. But when
So
you have,
how are you putting locks on your door in prison? I don't understand that.
oh man, we are very creative in there. But one way, so when you're a porter in prison, they give you the your fruit in the morning, right? You like your boxes, right? So you take them boxes, you break it down, and you fold it. And the same thing, how the door slide opens and closes, it's like a little slot where if you put it correctly, it fills the whole door slot. So when a tower tries to open the door, it's not going to open because you have that slot right there. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, they can get it in if they, but they have to physically run to the door and jam, jam, jam.
And that's giving you time.
That's giving me, yeah, that's more in that time. It's not, I'm not saying like it's foolproof to where they ain't getting up in here. I seen some to where like you can't get up in here to where they gotta mechanically take the hinges off the door just to go ahead and run up in your cell. But but it wasn't necessarily about I'm not trying to vent you in here. My thing is when I'm in my cell, I have my phone out. If you people do drugs, they got their weed out, whatever they do, they chilling. They are in the comfort of their cell.
I don't understand how you smoking weed in prison and not getting caught smoking weed in prison because we all know what weed smells like. How you gonna smoke in prison and not get caught?
So there's time and place for that. Obviously, you're not supposed to do that when it's program time, right? So we got downtimes, you feel me? So like when it's lunch, when it's dinner, when the police go out and go serve, or majority of the time, the nighttime is the best time. The nighttime is the best time, man, because like you up all night and you gotta the night man. It's only one CO that patrols the whole yard. He walks through every building. That clockwork. You like, okay, what time is it? Oh, it's about 1 o'clock. He should be walking right now. Let him do his walk. You back partying, smoking, drinking, do whatever you do. You just don't. It's like the police say, don't front me off. You don't do what you do, but don't have my sergeant in the building. He walks in. He's like, damn, why y'all building smell like weed? I'm cool. Some sales be like, I'm cool. I'm not tripping. Y'all gonna do what y'all do, but just don't let me see it because I don't want to have to do my job.
How did you feel about law enforcement inside of the prisons?
Oh man,
What was your thoughts about them?
I meant more bad ones than good ones.
What's your definition of them being bad?
So I get it, man. There's a lot of bad people in prison. I get it. Some people do some fucked up shit. I get it. But the thing is that like they in prison, they make you feel like they better than you. Like you ain't shit. You just a number. You just a number. Like you not a human being. Like they try to have authority over. They try to dominate their authority over you every chance they get. Every chance. They can be escorting you to the nurse, or you can be in a nurse office and be like, "Hey, stop talking to her." I'm like, what? What you mean? Stop talking. You heard what I said? And try to rough you up, or put you in a situation to where it's like, damn, I'm gonna take it through with this dude. Is he worth me getting extra time? But you have
go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
Nah, but you just have CEOs that's in positions to where I feel like they just job is to make you belittle every chance they get.
Okay, so those were the bad ones. Who do you consider the good ones?
The good ones to me were the ones that didn't take their job that serious. Like, bro, I'm just here to get my check. Like, I'm not tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a CEO. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, if y'all fighting, obviously I'm gonna have to go spray y'all because y'all doing it in front of me. But my whole thing is, it's like, don't do this shit in front of me. We gonna have no problem. You know what time I walk. You know what time I do this. Don't let me see shit, and we good. They might ain't business, we might not business, and that's a lot of times what kept certain programs smooth because it was like, bro, I'm trying to go home. Because you had some of them, it wasn't really the blacks like that. Every now and then you find a tough black, but like on some real shit though, but they'll get stabbed. You had us inmates stabbing COs, especially the dickheads ones I was telling you about. You know what I'm saying? But the majority be like the Hispanics or the whites doing the blasting. You know what I'm saying? Because they took it too far and disrespected somebody. So, it's, their whole thing is like, bro, I ain't trying to lose my life. So
I understand why you would say that the good correctional officers were the ones that were like, look, just don't let me see whatever it is that you're doing, right? I understand why you would think that. I'm also thinking that they're not good COs either.
okay, explain.
Well, the way you described it was you said they didn't really want to do their job, right? That's what you said to me. You said the good ones were the ones that didn't really want to do their jobs and laid it out for you. Like, you know what time I'm walking around here. So whatever you want to do that you know you shouldn't be doing, and I know you shouldn't be doing, just do it at a time when I'm not here.
So you have
Right?
to, right, but listen, Sean, you have to weigh out what you consider bad. What, like, it wasn't like, okay, we out here trying to victimize other inmates when CO's not around. Nah, we just trying to smoke, we just trying to drink and be on the phone, talk to our family. That is it. You know what I'm saying? We not out here. What's so crazy about prison, I always say prison makes so much money they made cell phone legal, because all we want to do is talk on the phone. We're not out here trying to put hits. It may be some cases, but for the most part, everybody's trying to talk to their family or trying to chase a girl. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're not out here trying to do nothing bad. And it's
But
like, when
you
you
said
see
you said cell phones are legal now.
no, I say if they were.
Okay.
If the prison made cell phones legal, they'll make so much money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's really what you have to worry about in prison. And when you have, let's just say, like you say, you consider them to be bad because they're not doing their job, it's like, damn, Sean, you tripping because I'm drinking Pruno? I'm not bothering them. I'm in my cell. I can understand if I was out here being day room, being drunk, going crazy. Yeah, but I'm doing this in the comfort. Remember, when in prison, your cell's like your house. I'm in my house. I'm in the comfort of my own space. I'm not bothering nobody.
I got you.
So why are you bothering me?
How many years were you actually locked up?
From 2009 to 2023.
Okay, so you did the 14.
Yeah.
All right, so in your 14 years, can you recall how many inmates might have overdosed?
About 50.
All right. You see where I'm going with this?
I see where you're going with this, but let me get a rebuttal to you of that, man. Prison is a fucked up place. And a lot of times people do drugs to escape something. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be within their own card, being bullied, peer pressure, you know what I'm saying? Family things going on out there in the streets, or they just like, I got life, bro. I'm never going home. Fuck this shit. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I get what you're saying about you got overdosing, but it's like, everybody got their habit, Sean. Some people smoke. Some people smoke weed. Some people do heroin. Some people do crystal. Some people just got their own fix. And doesn't make it right or wrong because you're doing marijuana or heroin. You like, wrong is wrong. But at the end of the day, it's like, people have they escape. They need to escape.
I hear you. I'm not talking necessarily about the inmates. My cousin who passed away years ago, her saying was everybody got their vices.
Okay, right.
She would say that. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about if the COs would have done their jobs, maybe some people wouldn't have lost their lives because they overdosed. That's all I'm saying. And listen, I've never been in prison. And I have to take what you're saying and processing it a little bit differently because you're living in an environment where, like I told Anthony last night, if I think of hell as this other place that you go to potentially after you die, I got my own image of what that is.
Right.
So if I think about what hell on earth would be, it would be prison. And you did time in this place that I would consider hell on earth, and then you got people working in that environment. and you got to change. And so listening to you talk, I have to change the way my thinking is because you're talking to me about an environment I've never experienced.
Right.
And you're talking to me about it in a way that nobody else ever has. You know, and for me, it's really fascinating and also heartbreaking to hear who you were and what you were doing. And then all of this happened.
Yep.
Right? Because every time I see you, you're somebody that not only do I enjoy seeing, but you're a good person to me. And some of the things that you did that got you in trouble, when I teased you and said you should have been selling drugs instead of trying to steal cars, well, I sold drugs. I sold weed when I had a good job. I was in grad school. Like I was on a path that was even more straight-laced than yours. Right?
Right.
And I had an opportunity to sell meth. And when I asked it, I asked my assistant manager, I was working at Foot Locker. He's the one who convinced me to sell the weed at the time. You know, I had the whole referee outfit on, you know.
Right.
I didn't know I was going to have to wear that because Foot Locker told me I was going into a management training program. I had a college degree. So I'm like, I'm not going to be selling those shoes. I have a college degree. They said, well, we're going to have you in a management training program. I said, great. You know what that was? Selling shoes. You know, you're selling shoes. I'm dressed like a referee going into Foot Locker selling shoes. And I'm like, that wasn't going to last. I wasn't going to last long doing that. And my assistant manager was like, yo, man, I can show you how to make some extra money. Well, how's that?
Right.
I teach you how to sell this weed. Hell no, I ain't selling no weed. I have a college degree from one of the best schools in the country, and you gonna have me out here selling some weed? Nah.
Yeah, like nah, man.
Nah, man. But I moved out here in 1990.
Okay.
And there was a recession in 1990. So whatever job you had, it wasn't paying anything.
Exactly.
So I got to the point where I needed more money. And I was going to humble myself with a college degree. There was a help wanted sign at Burger King. And they didn't hire me. And that was a slap in the face to me. A couple of my friends said, well, what did you put on your application? Did you put that you went to college? I said, yeah. You were overqualified. That's why they didn't hire you. I said, I'm not buying that, man. I was qualified enough to flip burgers.
Right.
I also tried to apply for a job at 7-Eleven. And when I did not get those two jobs, I called up my assistant manager. I'm like, yo, man, come over here and show me how to sell this shit.
Yeah, let's do this. And at that time, I think you'd have been like the first black person I've seen at a 7-Eleven. If you would have got the job.
I was trying to get up in there. I was trying to do it the right way because I was not the only thing I had done up to that point that I could have gotten in trouble for was breaking into a car like you, but it wasn't to steal the car. It was to steal a radar detector. Right? Me and two of my friends from high school, we had seen this. I think I might have seen it. I saw this car parked on the street in a residential neighborhood, all white neighborhood, by the way.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, I got the car. I got the car. The radar detector's on the dash. Left the house at like 1 o'clock in the morning, dressed in black. I was the lookout. My boy broke the window. My other boy reached in, and we did all of this. And I think I might have got $25 when we sold it at school, brought it back to high school. I did all this over $25 to get $25. Vance, I don't even remember how much money I got. It wasn't worth it, right? It wasn't worth what could have happened. So when I listen to you talk, I always try to put myself in other people's shoes. I can't judge anybody because I've done stuff worse than steal a radar detector and sell some weed. You know, and like you, I love the girls.
Yeah.
You know, but there was something inside of me based on who was around me that I wasn't going to take it to the point of I'm a steal a car. And you didn't have that. And if you would have had just a little of that, I don't think you would have stolen the car.
Nah.
I don't think you would have pushed somebody over and took the keys of their car and got in the car and drove away, because that's not you.
Yeah, exactly.
It was you for a moment in time, but that's not the Vance that I know now and the Vance that you described up until that point.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, people who heard, like, there's a lot of people from, like, you know, from school and my childhood, man, and my friends and shit. They be like, "Damn, you went to jail? Like, that's crazy. Like, I never would have thought that you would have been in jail." And it's funny because I always tell you, like, man, like, I'm not a bad person. I just made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I just made a
Bad
mistake.
decisions.
That's
Bad,
it. Like,
bad decisions. And I've made bad decisions. And I did not get caught. So for those of you that got caught, how am I going to look looking down on you, where I was fortunate enough to not get caught? Not smarter than you, just fortunate enough to not get caught. And when I started selling weed, and I used the money to pay utilities. I wasn't buying. I wasn't fly. I've never been into designer clothes or anything like that. I didn't feel like I needed it to get those girls, and it just wasn't me.
right.
I needed the money to pay my bills. I bought a pair of Timberlands. Out of the 3 years that I was selling weed, I bought a pair of Timberlands. I bought a couple of shirts just because I needed some new clothes.
Right. Got your gear up. Got your gear up.
Hey, Vance, and in the 90s, you could buy a shirt like a flannel with the flannel pattern.
Yep. Pattern and all that. Yep.
And it came in the bag. So if you wanted to know what kind of shirt you were buying, it was in the bag. So you took your flannel shirt out of this flannel bag. Like, how expensive could that be?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then my assistant manager came back to me and asked me, "Oh, you want to make some more money and faster?" I said, "Yeah." What? He said meth. No, he said crystal.
Okay.
I didn't know what crystal was. That's how much of a square I was. I said, "What is that?" He said, my brother, Detroit, he sends it to me. He said, "Only problem is you get caught selling crystal, it's a felony." I'm out on that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You knew Grand Theft Auto was a felony, or you didn't even think about it that way?
I didn't even think about it that way, to be honest with you. I didn't think about it at all because at the time, just the way my thought process was, it was like, you know, my problem is so big, I got to fix it now. You know what I'm saying? And it was like me doing the decision that I made to the first place to steal the car. It shows you how easily influenced I was back then. It shows you the weakness of me not having a role model, because the first sign of a male attention that I received, you know, as far as me feeling like someone was showing me, actually teaching me something, right? Because he was teaching me how to make some money. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he's my homeboy and we chopping up. Nah, he was teaching me something. And I gravitated towards that, you know, because deep down, and this is, mind you, this is all, you know, self growth. Like where I'm at today, I'm aware of who I am. I've learned who Vance is and what I like, what I dislike. You know what I'm saying? But back then, I can honestly say that I was vulnerable because I really wanted someone I can look up to. I really wanted to feel like I belonged to something. You know what I'm saying? And when he was teaching me how to steal a car, it was like, okay, he's teaching me how to survive and make some fast money. Not knowing that was a sign right there when I got caught that, nah, bro, that's not you. This is the path I have for you. What God was trying to have for me. Because at the time, I was going to school to be an electrician. And it's funny because I got locked up May 3rd. February 3rd. Class car started for me for electrician school February 7th. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that wasn't the path for me. God had other plans for me. But because of me being so headstrong and such a hard head, that he had to teach me, you know. And one thing I want to bring back up, you know, going back to my mom, like by me saying why she was being heavily in the church. She was a Christian lady. She was such a Christian lady to where she would embarrass me. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, she received good news or something happened, she'd be, no matter where she at, we can be in the middle of the store, in the middle of the street, thank you Jesus, clapping her hands, and that right there I used to be embarrassed by my mom because her faith was so strong, and me and her used to butt heads behind her faith. And not saying like, like I'm not a believer. It just I be feel like, man, you extra. You know what I'm saying? But as I get older and I sit back and reflect, man, it's like I really value and appreciate the things that my mom was trying to teach me. Just back then, it's just I wasn't able to soak it in. It's like I wasn't ready. But now as I'm out here living life, man, and I have an opportunity to get back to it, I'm trusting the process. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trusting the process. Since I came home, man, I've accomplished so many different things. You know what I'm saying? Hit the ground running, got brand new car, my own place. You know what I'm saying? I got me a career going on right now. So it's like I'm doing a lot to where I feel like people who been stagnant in the 14 years that I've been gone, I'm passing them by. And I'm not saying that to throw any shot or judge at people. It's just that it's like I'm awakened now. You know what I'm saying? Like I have 14 years to sit up in there and to think. I have 14 years to sit up there to plot and plan out my life and really grow into the person that I know that my mom wanted me to be. So just everything I do now, just what I do in general, is just I try to be an example for people who've been in my shoes and feel like they can't do it. You can do it because I'm out here doing it. The thing is, you gotta trust the process. Like they say, you can't build a city overnight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta continue to put one foot in front of the other, and before you know it, man, you're gonna be where you want to be.
So
I can tell you that.
your last year in prison, what was the plan that you came up with for the day that you got out? What were you going to do?
So the way I planned my release, all the time I was in there, didn't happen the way I thought it was going to be. So I ended up getting paroled to a halfway house through the called the MCRP program in the California prison. Basically, when you have about 32 months, well at the time it was 24, but now they expanded to 32. When you have 32 months left of your prison time, you can submit a request to do the rest of your time in a CDCR setting that's based around California. They have three in Los Angeles. They have one downtown by USC. They have one over there by Echo Park, and the third one's in Long Beach.
What does
So
CDCR stand for?
California correctional California Department of Rehabilitation.
Okay. Correction
So
and rehabilitation. Okay.
correction and rehabilitation. Yes. So as I just applied. I said, fuck it. We'll see. Because my release date was December 2023. I applied for this in February of 2022. I got denied. I got denied in February 2022 because I had a write up for a phone. And the warden, he was like, because every year in prison you have a review, right? And your review date is the day that you come into reception. So mine was happened to be February, the same the same time I called my case. So every February I have a review. So at this time he denied me. And basically my next time with me trying to do this again would be next year, February 2023. So I spoke up for myself. I said, excuse me, sir. I said, if you don't mind, I think if is it possible I can get a 6 months review? Like I'm really trying to go home. I spoke up for myself. I was nervous, probably talking over my words, being a little long-winded. But he looked at me. He's like, you know what? I give you 6 months. And I looked at my counselor. And I looked at him because my counselor, to me, so to a counselor in prison reminds me of a PO. I'm not a PO, public defender. And the reason why I say that because when you go into these reviews in front of the warden, you're actually trying to get a transfer. You're trying to, I'm trying to go to Lancaster. I'm trying to be closer home because they send you all over the place. So when you be in there, you trying to move, you trying to monopolize your tour, you trying to do your best time as comfortable as possible. So a lot of times they be in there not really trying to advocate for you. They be like, I don't think he's going to do that. I don't know. Hey, I talked to him, and you don't even know if he talked to him or not. But you're just going off of what he tells you. So at the time when I was asking him to apply, he was already looking at my case like, nah, bro, like I don't think that you'll qualify. But I said, can you do it anyway, please? Even though you say I don't think so. He's like, all right. So when I was able to advocate for myself and get that 6-month review, when I came back in August, I went and talked to them, apply and everything. They approved me. I was so shocked. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, you're approved. We're going to send you to the halfway house and do the rest of your time. So at this time, it's still kind of like not necessarily COVID, but it's kind of slow. I left during the time when they approved the tablets in prison to where everybody got a tablet now. The phone calls are free and stuff like that. So, I left at a time to where they're doing a lot of changes. They started immigrating the yards and stuff like that. So, there was really no movement going on. So it's funny because when you have a transfer, it expires after 6 months, and you got to go all over through the whole process again. Sean, so I got approved in August. I did not leave to go to the halfway house until March of 2023.
So that's 7 months.
Yeah. So I had to wait, and in that time I had to make sure I was clean. No write-ups, no fights, no phones, no nothing. Because you do that, you fuck up, it's a wrap.
So were you able to do it, or did you try and have your phone?
Nah. So get me wrong. Listen. Like I told you, I needed my phone. Don't get it wrong, but I was smart about it. So what I said was, like I told you, to me, nighttime is the most comfortable. So during the day, my phone is out the cell. Hey, Sean, hold my phone. You can have it all day. I'm not tripping. But at nighttime, before they lock everybody up, I'm coming to get my phone back.
Where would you store your phone during the day?
I'll give it to somebody else. Like, here, hold my phone. Like, bro, just you responsible for it. You can chill the whole day. And when
if you got caught with it, was he going to dime you out?
No, that was something that I was okay. I was okay with that because it was, I'd rather you get caught with my phone than for me to get caught with my phone.
And they wasn't going to snitch on you.
No.
Okay.
No. We wasn't on that type of facility. So when I was giving my phone, like saying, and me giving somebody a phone, it's like that's like a lookout. I was like, oh man, he really fuck with me. Obviously, I didn't give it to the average Joe. It's okay. I watch your program. You smooth. You don't be running around. You don't be doing too much with the police. You out the way. So here, go ahead. Just don't talk to no crazy girl to where she'll call up here and report you that you got a phone. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I did. That's how I did it. I only be on the phone at nighttime. And then first thing in the morning, I'm sending it out. So I skated through that.
So take me to the halfway house. You're in the halfway house. You got in.
So first day, man. Matter of fact, man, I'm gonna send you a video, Sean, that I had first day of me getting there and first day of me leaving. I'm gonna send it to you on Instagram. I'll make sure I do it either before we end or after. But what I wanted to make sure that I bring up to you was this. When I got there, I was so emotional because when I'm leaving the prison gates, I'm like, damn, man, like it's funny because you feel like how most people feel like you be like, damn, did they make a mistake? I hope they don't try to make a mistake and try to bring me back. And it was crazy because the whole time that I've been in prison, I've been living behind a tent. Even when they take you to court, you in the big county jail bus, you can't see who's up in there. Even when they transfer you to different prisons, you behind a tent. You know what I'm saying? And even when that last little van that they took me in to take me to the halfway house back to LA, from Sacramento. It was like me stepping out. I felt like people saw me for the first time in 14 years. You know what I'm saying? People was able to really see that I'm a human being again. You know, like I'm not even gonna lie to you. As soon as I got off and then they let me go, like be like, okay, hey, you're free, yeah, you're cool. Just hang around here real quick, man. We're gonna try to drug test you. I went outside and I stood in the street. Not like on purpose, but like unconsciously. And somebody hunked at me. And I'm like, you can see me? They're like, yeah, get up the street. But that was amazing to me because it's like, man, I feel like I'm being seen again after all these years. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that was a humble experience because I didn't think that I was going to come home that way. I was talking about going home, my sister or my grandma picking me up, you know, like that, but never in a sense to where
like in the movies.
Yeah, like in the movie, like you see on the movies. Yeah. And but you know, that was the best thing that happened to me because that's how I got connected with ARC. You know, that's how
while you at the halfway
house. Yeah. I've never heard of ARC as much as they've been in all the prisons. I never heard of ARC because they wasn't really on the 4 yards. That was more like in certain program, like a certain what do you call it? Like the good yards. You know what I'm saying? The good yards and shit like that. To where everybody they have programs where you got the board, the people over there that has board and stuff like that. They're trying to go home. So they was more like over there. So where I was at with the knuckleheads and shit, they wasn't over there. You know what I'm saying? So with me figuring out where they at, and honestly too, even with me going to ARC, I was trying to get the fuck up out of the halfway house. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get up out of here. But in the halfway house, you got to have a place to go, like for a reason. Why going to ARC? For resources. Okay, I'll approve the pass for you to go. You know, you can't just be like, hey, I want to go to the liquor store real quick. No. You have to either be going to a dentist, doctor, job interview, school, work, or going somewhere for resources. That was the only way that you'll be able to leave.
So how long did you stay in the halfway house before you were released to ARC?
No, so I was there until December. So the whole time you're there, you're still under CDCR. You got your CDC number and everything. You're just in a controlled environment. So you have an ankle monitor on 24/7. But you pretty much, you free. And I started off going to ARC every day. Once I went there, man, I started going there every day. It was like the kicking spot until one day someone was like, why don't you apply for an intern at the front desk? I applied for the intern, got the job, did that for 2 months until I got promoted to event coordinator working with Anthony. And been there ever since, man. And it's like I tell people, like when I do orientation, when people come in, I'd be like, bro, I was sitting right there with you.
How long have you been out?
So I've been out from February till I got my job, July. I mean, from March to July.
Tell me the years.
Oh,
you got out in 2023.
Yeah, I got out in 2023. Parole to the halfway house. I got released from the halfway house in December of 2023, and it will be 1 year in December that I've been fully home.
So when did we meet? Because I feel like I've known you for over a year.
We met at the first Game Changers that was live, that was televised. That was the first time we met at that first Game Changers where we
when we were at the King's headquarters.
At the King's headquarters.
That's the first day that we met.
First day that we met.
Are you sure?
Positive.
You know, it's kind of coming back to me is interesting because I still want to get back to. You said you had 14 years and you were thinking and you were plotting and you were trying to figure out what you wanted to do. I want to get back to that, but
yeah.
You also this year we had a game changer training in Carson, and you brought a cat with you, and you had kind of whispered to me, and you said, he's fresh. No one ever told me that about you. And I would have never known that you had just gotten out of prison. Never would have known. because that wasn't filmed live,
Right.
right? But that piece came out in December, and I want to say that the event was in November, around the time it was around this time last year, for real.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. So you're telling me that you had just gotten out of the halfway house at that point in time.
Yep. Just got out.
And yet you did an interview for television, and I mean, there was no way that anybody would have known that you had just gotten out of prison, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you present yourself.
Right.
And I'm drawn to positivity. I am repelled by garbage and drama. And just so you know, I spent time working with kids that it wasn't a halfway house. It was a court mandated 21-day kind of dry out situation.
Okay.
You need to give this person 21 days to get their minds right.
Right.
And a lot of them, it took more than 21 days. I don't have to tell you that, right?
Yeah.
So I would show up to work at like 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And my shift would end at midnight. And so my job was to drive this group of kids to their AA meeting or right, or whatever they were doing.
Right, whatever they had going on, yeah.
Right. And I'm telling you, these were all juveniles, by the way.
Okay. So same similar thing.
And a lot of the kids, I'm gonna say, I was cool with them, but there was one or two where I was like, bro, you ain't gonna make it.
You doing dumb stuff, man.
No. You're not gonna make it in life.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You're not gonna make it unless something dramatic happens to you. Your energy and the way you are and where you got going, like I don't see any ray of light for you. I didn't say this to them.
Yeah, but you thinking in your head like, man, this ain't it.
Exactly. And there's other people. It's like, okay, you all got in trouble. You all done stuff. I see you got hope.
Yeah.
Unless something happens to you, bro. And it's hard for me to see that when you're so young.
Yeah.
Okay, so even though the way you got out wasn't how you planned to get out, what was your plan once you got out?
So here's the thing I tell people, man. Like my experience now is like, it's easy to sit here and say what you're going to do, because that's how easy you said. I sit there and said I was going to open my own business, get into trucking, buy my own truck, hit the road, make a lot of money. And when I went to the program, I didn't want to get a job, because I'm like, I don't need to get a job. Like I came home with money. And it's like, I wasn't finna get a job like just making $18 an hour. Like I'm like, still, again, even though I'm older, some things are still not gonna change. Like I'm too cool to be flipping burgers. You know what I'm saying? Like I want more for myself. So at the time, me being there, I'm like, I'm just gonna write out this 9 months and just figure shit out. If I was gonna go to Santa Monica College before I even went to ARC. And just take a class and just, like I say, kill time. I had it was 9 months. So when I went there, and that's when things started shifting, and I'm like, damn, okay, I'm starting to see this could be something good right here. And what I liked about ARC was, with me getting my first job, it made me feel like I was somebody again. Allowing me to be in a presence to where me being able to give back. So with just how much, like how you said, you saw the things in me with the little time that you was around me, I feel like the company saw it in me as well. And that's why I got the promotion and was able to kind of succeed a little faster than others, And once I saw that, man, it was like, okay, I can see I can do something with this, And And I just like say the thing about it, like say I work there, but I'm not. I'm constantly doing other things. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm steadily trying to continue elevating. You know, whether it's career wise, whether it's relationships. You know what I'm saying? Just being a better human being overall. Because I understand that when you have weakness, man, you have a flaw in you, man, and you're not able to really like tend to it, you can get preyed on. And that's what my lesson was with me saying that with me lacking the things I liked in my life, I allowed certain type of energy to gravitate towards me. And I jumped on it and it caused me bad opportunities. But now as I'm older and I'm living life and I got good vibe, good energy, I got good energy gravitating towards me. You know what I'm saying? I'm jumping on those opportunities and it's elevated me in life. You know, so got the good and the bad. You know, like I tell people all the time, man, I didn't get here overnight. I didn't get here overnight. It's
You 30,
14,
you 33?
33.
Let me tell you something. I'm 56. You could be my kid.
Yeah.
And I know people my age and older than me that still are drawn to things and people that are not good for them.
Yeah.
So if you gotten to the point at 33 years old where you're like, you know what, I gravitate more toward this now.
Right.
And I'm more interested in being around things and people that are good for me instead of bad for me. If you found that at 33, I'm trying to tell you, you're doing better than a lot of people. They still choosing the same types of dudes,
Yeah.
still choosing the same types of babes that aren't good for you. You haven't figured it out yet. You're still attracted to things that aren't good for you. So tell me what you're doing now. Anthony told me you got some good news to share with me.
Yeah, man. I just recently had a baby.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you,
Congrats.
man.
Congrats. Girl or boy?
Boy, his name Chance.
Who named him?
I did.
Why'd you name your son Chance?
To be honest with you, because I wanted something to rhyme with Vance.
Okay.
But you know, as I already had the name in mind, it started becoming more meaningful to me because it's like this is a second chance. You know,
Your son is your second
Yep.
second chance?
My second chance. You know, being able to just be that person I was. You know, like be able to be there for him because I felt like the old version of me wouldn't have. I'd rather have it be able to bring a baby into the world now that I have it figured out more than me trying to still figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I have it perfect, but I have a roadmap, I have a plan, and I'm sticking to it. You know, and it works for me. You know, so it's like I figured that out to where, like I told you, man, it's just what brings me peace, what brings me joy to my life, man, is just knowing that I'm able to get up and live the life that I want to live. Not being attached to anything negatively. It's funny, like I told you, I'm being in prison, being around the gang shit, hearing blood and cuz all day, Hoover, whatever, you know what I'm saying, and Mexicans, whites, dealing with all that, and even still me working with the incarcerated population with my job now, and not still having to feel like you have to be somebody that you're not, like I'm Vance, you know what I'm saying? I'm who I am. I'm happy with that, and I tell people all the time, bro, like you don't gotta act tough, just be you. The sooner you be you, the better life will be. And I always tell the kids that when I be dealing with them, especially when they be new, because they always be trying to be extra out. I remember I had one youngster with me. I took him to Northridge Mall. He never been to Northridge Mall. I had to go make a run real quick, pick up something. So he's walking out, got the red flag hanging and just belling, right? I said, I didn't say nothing. I'm like, we ain't with Northridge. Ain't nothing gonna happen. But I thought I said, hey, I just want to let you know if I was an op, I would got you right now. Because he walking around looking. I said, look, you putting a target on your back, man. I said, and the best way to succeed in life, man, you got to be undetected, go under the radar. You can still be who you are, but I'm bringing a target to your back. Let people figure out who you are. Let it be like Find Wando. You remember finding Waldo?
Yeah.
You got all these people. Let somebody try to find you. You know what I'm saying? Don't stick out. And people have their own path they live. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink it, man. And that's my 2 cents.
I hear that. Hey, so listen, is there anything that you want to plug? Is there anything you want to share with our viewers in terms of things that you do on website? If you want to direct some people to check out what you're doing, is there anything you have?
Nah, my main thing, I just try to promote people. Like I told man, you can do it. You're looking for a career, you're looking for something to do. I got career opportunities, man. Hit me up. Go to my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? And holla at me, man. I'm trying to put people on. I'm not in a position just to keep it held hostage. I want to help you just like, someone helped me out.
Okay. So what's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is, matter of fact, look at it. Bulletproof Diaries.
Bulletproof Diaries, all one word.
_bulletproof_diaries. Bulletproof_diaries.
Hey, bro. This was a great conversation, man. And the things that you told me about you, I'm surprised, but at the same time, the feeling that I've gotten from you since the moment I met you really makes sense based on where you told me that you come from. Just
right.
know I'm here for you. I support everything that you're doing. I think you're a great human being. ARC is they're fortunate to have you, and it sounds like you're fortunate to have come across ARC. You want to give our viewers any information on ARC? There might be some people here that have tapped in that may need ARC in their life.
Yeah, man. If you coming home, you've been incarcerated, you're trying to figure out life, man. Come to ARC. We got resources, job training to put you as a firefighter. We can put you in working as a producer on the Hollywood sets, being a cameraman and stuff like that. Construction into the union. There's a lot of opportunities, man. So don't feel like you gotta out here tackle the world by yourself. There's money and there's programs and positions for us, just us, incarcerated individuals, man. So you can do it. And I'm living proof of that. Trust the process. That's my life.
Hey, Vance, that's great advice. It's from the heart. I can feel it, bro. I want to thank you for taking the time to spend this time with me, man.
Of course, man. Of course.
And now I'm energized, man. I can't go to sleep.
Right.
You got me up, man. It's good vibes. It's good vibes.
Yeah,
let's do this. And I'm gonna tell you what I told Anthony.
Yeah.
Send more ARC people my way, man. I want to hear their stories. I want people to see them
right
as the human beings that they are. That's what this is about. This is what Cops and Convicts is about.
Exactly, man. I love to, and I definitely, what I told you, man, I enjoy it, man. I enjoy it, and every chance I get, man, you make sure I'll be there for sure, man. And thank you again, and we definitely got to do this again, Sean. For sure.
We will. All right, y'all. We out. Thanks for tapping in. I'll see you next week.